Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. This video I'm going to do an Akkerman ink comparisons, and this is Akkerman ink comparison number 1. So I think with that, let's go and swab up some inks. The first ink is Akkerman, and this is Passage Blur. So I think we'll do an ink swatch here. And we'll just put a little bit more on here. And you can see there this ink. So this is Acomon. And it is Passage Blur, which is a really lovely blue ink. The next ink is another Ackerman, obviously, but this is Shocking Blue. So we'll do another ink swatch here. And I will put a second layer on so you can see how shocking this colour really is. So this is Acomon, and it is Shocking Blue. But this really is a lovely blue ink, and you'll see why once this ink dries. The next ink is number 6, Binnhof Blues. So we'll do an ink swatch here. Now this is more of a purplish blue, or a violet, or a lavender maybe. But you can see that's quite a nice shade there. So this is Ackerman. And it's Binhof. I'll just get the right pronunciation here, the right spelling. It's Binnenhof Blues. That's a lovely colour. The next one is number 17, and this is Akkerman Staten General. So this is actually a red ink. You can see this is actually a really lovely sort of almost rose colour. There you go, that's a double pass. This is Ackerman. And it's Staten General, and it's Rood. But that is a really nice red ink. It's almost like a, I guess it's a red sort of rose, sort of pinkish red, but that is actually a beautiful red. And it's a red that I need to write more with, because I don't actually write a lot with this one. The next ink is an Ackerman, and it's number 25, Denneweg Groen. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And we'll do a second pass over the top part, just so that you can see in terms of saturation there. And this is Ackerman. And it's Denneweg Groen. And I know I cannot pronounce Dutch names, so please forgive me. The next ink is Akkerman, number 27, Bezuidenwould Groen. We'll do another ink swatch here. And we'll do a second pass. Now this is one of my most favourite green inks. So this is Akkerman. And it's Bezuidenwoud. Groen. I'm not going to fit all of that on one line. The next ink is Akkerman Delfts Blur. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is a very lovely washable blue ink from Acomon. And you can see there just as it's getting lighter at the base. So we'll do a second pass. And you can see there what the saturation on a wet nib would look like. So this is Acomon. And it's Delfts. And it's Blur or Blue. But that is a lovely washable blue ink. So if you're into washable blue inks or faded blue inks, then that is a nice ink to get. The next ink is a Dutch Masters. And this is Van Hoysum Sapgroen. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And although I said that Bezuidenwoud Groen is actually one of my favourite, or the favourite green ink, this is one that I love writing with too. And you can just see there, let's do a single pass there. So this is a beautiful grassy green, meadowy ink, and it's an ink that I do love writing with, and it has immense shading going on. So this is Ackerman. And it's Van Hoysum's. And it's Sapgroen. But you can see there, like, it goes on quite a dark green ink, but it actually will fade quite a bit. And then the final ink is another Akkerman Dutch Masters, and this is Vermeers Cobalt Blur. Now, when this box arrived and I opened it, it was a massive ink mess. But luckily, it was only around where the cap was, so it only leaked around where the cap was. So I'm really glad that I didn't lose a lot of ink when that shipped to me. So let's do an ink swatch. And you can see this really is more of a blue-black, and I will put it on a little bit more thicker there at the top layer, just so you can see it there. But that is a really dark blue-black ink. So this is Ackerman, and it's Vermeers. And it's Cobalt Blur. But that's quite a dark blue-black ink. So I think let's take a look at these inks one more time now that they have dried. We have the first ink, which is Akkerman Passage Blue, and this is like, I would say, a Pilot Iroshizuku Konpeki, or even I would say a Pelikan Edelstein Topaz. It has quite a bit of shading going on, and it's a really lovely light blue or turquoisey blue colour. The next ink you have there is Akkerman Shocking Blue, and if I show you here, you'll see the reason why it's shocking, because it does have sheen, and that is quite a nice sheen that is going on there. And it doesn't have a lot of shading, but you can see here that the sheen itself is not on the lighter, so if you have a drier nib, you are not going to get a lot of sheen there. You really do have to apply this with a very wet nib. The next ink is Akkerman Binnenhof Blues, and this is more of a, I guess, like a purpley or violety or lavender, lilac-y blue. This is a nice sort of shift from a regular blue, and it's a colour that I do like a lot. It does have a fair amount of shading there as well, so for me that's a really nice colour ink. We then have Akkerman Staton General Rood, and this, for me, like, I'm looking at this at the moment and it really looks as though this ink is pearlescent in colour. It has a lot of colour shifting going on, and I really do like that colour, and it's not an ink that I have written a lot with, so I think I may have to write more with that ink. And then we also have a lot of shading going on here as well. Then we have Acomon Denneweg Groen, and again you can see the shading that is going on here. It's a little bit more of a bluish green, I would say, not a green, but it's again it's a lovely colour green ink. And then the next ink here is Akkermanbazudan Groen, and this is my favourite, or one of my favourite green inks. This really is more what I would call a green ink. If you have a dry writing nib, then it's going to go on this colour. If you have a wet writing nib, it's going to go on this colour. And then you can see the shading that is going on there. Akkerman Delfts Blue is the next one, and this you can see a huge amount of shading that's going on, and this really is a lovely washable blue. So if you have a dry nib, then it will come out like this, and if you have a wet nib, it will be more saturated. One of my other favourite greens is Akkerman van Hoysum Sapgroen, and this is a lovely meadowy green colour ink. It's just an ink that I like a lot, and it does have a lot of shading there. And then the final ink we have is Akkerman, and it's Vermeers Cobalt Blue, and this really is a blue-black. There is a little bit of sheen, but it's very hard to actually see that sheen there, but there is a little bit, but there's a lot of shading as well. So that's my Akkerman inks comparison number 1 video. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.